All right, Mopar people, welcome back to the channel. I'm JustMoparJoe. I'm going to set the valve lash today on our 508 and prime the oil system. Let's get after it. So I did switch in the Harlan Sharp rocker shafts, and I got all my valve trains set up now. All we need to do now is adjust valve lash. We are on number 1 TDC, and both these are loosey-goosey. The little process for this, if you'll remember, these are Howard's roller lifters, and here's the exact instructions they send you with it. So let me scan down here. I'm not going to read it all to you, but you can pause if you want to read that. And here's what we're doing. We have the 7/16 by 20 threads. We're dividing 1 inch by 20. The adjuster nut will move 50 thousandths. And what they're calling for after you get to zero lash, and I like that they define zero lash for you, because a lot of guys will argue what their opinion is of zero lash. So once you feel drag, that is what they call zero lash when you're spinning it with your finger. So they want us to go cast iron block aluminum head, 30 to 35 thousandths. And that would be just over half a turn. So I'm going to go half a turn. If you had to guess, so it would be between a half and 3/4. So 5/8 of a turn of the wrench, you'll be able to see. I got my lashing stuff over here. See my 440 shafts. There's one. That's our other new one there. Anyway, so I use a 13 millimeter and that Allen wrench because the 13 millimeter seemed a little bit tighter on their adjuster. So we'll do number 1 first, and then we'll rotate her up. Here we got lots of slack right here. That's okay. Get her twisted down. Feel the drag. I like to put my wrench where I can kind of clock it. So we're free and easy. Get my nut loosened off. There we go. Free and easy. Right there's the drag. So it won't spin right there. I can back it off a little bit and we're spinning. I like to go where, like I said, you feel the drag. So a half turn will be opposite of that. Right to there. 3/4 would be this way. We're going to go just slightly past that. About right there. Tighten that nut down. Kind of a funny angle, but I'm trying to miss the camera. And that's tight enough. Still spins because it just preloaded the lifter a little bit. I like to do this before we actually pump the system up, and that way, when it does pump up, it'll pump up those lifters as well for you. So on to number 2. So we did exhaust, we're doing intake. Let me back off on that. See our slack. Slack's gone. Bring our wrench around sideways. Right there. Feel the drag. Half turn. Just past half turn, about 5/8. Center down. That's it. Number 1's done. You can feel it's pushing down the lifter plunger when I try to pick up on those. Now we're rotating 90 degrees. See if I can do it with holding the camera and talking to you. Perfection. Go to number 8. There's our drag. Come here. Loosen off on the nut good. There's our drag. Half turn. About 5/8 of a turn. Center down. Hopefully that camera's not wobbling too much. There. Half turn. Plus a little. Center down. Feels nice. Coming back around. We'll go another 90. Out to there. In my mind, it's a little bit easier than doing the solid lifters because you don't have to have a feeler gauge. So here's my operation. Got my oil pressure line hooked up. I just ran her through the valley pan, stuck the gauge there. I got a little condensation in my gauge because I had it outside on my old run stand. Harbor Freight drill set up. Wicks filter. I like to use Wicks or Napa, not those old dirty Frams. But I'm ready to try this thing. I did pour a little bit of my Lucas 50/50 mix just down the push rods. And it's got 7 quarts of oil in it. It's an 8-quart pan, but I wanted to prime the pump with 7 quarts in it, let it settle, and then I'll stick my dipstick in, pull it out, and then I'll mark the fill line so he'll know what a quart low looks like. I like to, I'm not really into running it low on oil. Some people want 6 quarts and 8-quart pan and all that. I would say for that 10 horsepower, whatever it is, you're better off having a little more oil. So I'll give it a pull and we'll see when we get our oil pressure. And we are turning counterclockwise because this is a big block. I spun it just a second ago. I could hear some noise. Hey, my drill is smoking. Look there. Let's move that away from the engine. Try a new drill. Our old DeWalt to the rescue. Counterclockwise, I got it on low. Oh yeah. So she's up to 75 there. That's nice. I will get my wrench out, turn it over until we get some on each rocker shaft, then I'll be happy. We don't want to flood it out on the floor, but we do want the springs to get wet. So that's nice. See, it's pooling down here. Don't run out on the floor, please. Guess I can always tilt the engine a little more the other way. Comes out between your spacers, runs all down. That's nice. I could probably go ahead and stick that valve cover on even. See, my cups are still a little dry. And I bet you if I give it a little tilt, they'll go ahead and catch them all, but it was coming out there. Let me lean it a little bit and try again. And side number 2. That just looks wonderful. Blowing and going. And it comes out everywhere. Nice. Getting plenty on the springs and all that. I mean, it just filled that up a plenty there. I'll get the valve cover on this side. Well, there she is in all her glory. I went ahead and popped the carburetor off. Valve covers are tight. Intermediate shaft's in. It's got the distributor kind of loose where I can time it. On top dead center here. Good oil pressure. She's sealed up. Ready to put on the old run stand. So anyway, I'm going to do a quick video on how much this sucker weighs. I was wondering that to compare it to my 408 and the 406. So hopefully I'll come back for that video. I'll put a link up somewhere for it if this is before that one or that one before this one or whatever. Anyway, I appreciate y'all watching, and I'll catch you next time.